SmackDown show ends. At least it's more. To me, it seems more focused and it's more entertaining. And I had not watched 205 Live prior to this tournament starting, and I've watched the first few episodes, and they've all been pretty solid as far as the in-ring wrestling is concerned. So to me, it's at least a watchable show now.
Yeah, I think it was after the first week before any news came out. I think I texted you and I was like, dude, you actually have to watch 205 Live. And you're like, I'll give it a shot. And then 3 or 4 days later, it came out that Triple H took over. I'm looking forward to 205 Live now as much as I do NXT. My question for you is, you have Roderick Strong in the 205 Live tournament, number one contender for the UK title, which he just lost, and calling out Lars Sullivan. You have Tyler Bate losing to Roderick Strong. I think he lost to Roddy one week, and then he lost in the 205 Live tournament. At this point, are you kind of just blending everything together in one uniformed, ununiformed kind of mess, like with talent? I mean, you have the UK title, and you were starting that UK show, then they didn't, and then they have the NXT, and then they have these guys also from NXT on 205 Live in the tournament, but then you have the 205 Live guys wrestling 20-minute matches in the tournament and then 3-minute 6-man tags on Raw. Is it just too convoluted at this point?
Well, I guess there's probably some NXT talent that they wanted to use in other spots, and I guess Roddy is an example of that. The UK thing, I think, like you said, the initial idea was that they did that tournament in the UK, and they were supposed to start a weekly show, and that was a year ago, and it hasn't happened yet. So they've kind of had that title floating around, and they really don't know probably what to do with it. They have all these guys signed, right, or at least involved, and they haven't launched a show yet or a weekly program. So they probably just don't know what to do with those guys, and they have some other folks in NXT that well, where do you go with Roddy, right? I mean, he's been NXT for a little bit now, and he's not really going to be put up into the main roster probably as a featured guy anytime soon. So they decided to put him in the tournament, and surprisingly enough, he got a win. So I don't know. I could live with NXT and 205 Live sharing some guys if they qualify for it. If they kind of go beyond that and start stretching guys out into other shows like Raw and SmackDown, and then it's going to kind of muddy the waters for me a little bit. But I think if they just keep the cruiserweights more isolated, that would be better.
Let me ask you real quick: what did Roderick Strong do to get a UK championship title shot? How does that work?
I think is that where he beat Tyler Bate, right? And the winner or something was going to get a shot.
Why Roderick?
I mean, I don't. I mean, who else? I guess would be deserving of. I don't know. I don't know. I guess
Wolfgang, bro, bring back Wolfgang. No, listen. I see where you're coming from, and anybody who knows me. I mean, you included. No, Roderick Strong is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, but they're just if they're not going to pull the plug on having the the UK show, maybe. I don't know, maybe dictate some time to Raw on it and take the 205 Live guys off of Raw, so this way they're not on Raw, NXT, and 205 Live. I don't know. I just feel like they're definitely muddying the waters a little bit, and it's kind of tough to follow. Like if I think about Roderick Strong, am I thinking, oh, he lost this, he lost on 205 Live this week, or should I think about how he won on NXT? But I guess at the end of the day, through all the bitching, you're like, me personally, I'm getting to watch one of my favorite wrestlers wrestle really long, really good matches. So at the end of the day, I mean, it is benefiting, the fans of the guys. I just wish they told more. Like it was a clearer, I guess, picture with what they're going to do. Because I think at the end of the day, they have to take the 205 guys off of Raw. I think there's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. Hopefully, like we said with Triple H, maybe kind of at the helm of that show, that he'll be more focused with it, and maybe I don't know if he has the ability to not allow his guys then to appear on Raw in these meaningless multi-person tag matches. But we'll see. The tournament itself so far, the matches that they've had, the matchups between guys have been pretty good. So hopefully they continue with that, and I'll keep watching as long as they do. And it'll culminate at WrestleMania, so it'll be a nice, kind of a slow, steady build to that, and those guys will get featured at WrestleMania, whether it's on the pre-show or the main show. At least they'll be on the card, and it'll be a nice reboot for that show, and we'll see where they go after that.
Right now, February 16th, 2018, month and a half away from WrestleMania. Who is wrestling for the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania? Go.
Oh, geez, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I don't even know that I know all the guys in the tournament. I guess I would say maybe Cedric Alexander would be one guy. He was supposed to get the shot against Enzo, I think, before Enzo got released. So I'll go with Cedric, and I don't know. I'll say, maybe I'll just go with Roddy, just because he was a surprise guy in the tournament, and I think he should go pretty far. So I'll say Cedric and Roddy will be the two guys I pick.
Yeah, Roderick Strong to me is a guy that's going to be there, and that is tough. If I'm going to put you on the spot, I should at least be prepared to come back with. I'm going to say Roderick Strong and Neville.
Neville?
Yeah, Roddy and Neville. That's my guess.
All right. Would you like to put any sort of wager on this?
I will bet. I will bet you one short stack of IHOP pancakes.
All right, done and done.
Anyway, have you watched the Mixed Match Challenge? Do you watch that?
No.
Yeah, me neither. So moving on from the Mixed Match Challenge, I guess one of the things that you and I were talking about last week, we both watched Ring of Honor's Honor Reigns Supreme, which they streamed live on their. I think it was on a Facebook. It was on their website. I think it was on Fight TV as well.
Yeah. They let everybody kind of take a peek into the preview, I guess, of what it would be like if you joined the Honor Club.
Yeah. Now, to me, I think that was a great job on their part. I mean, the show was pretty good for the most part. Watching Ring of Honor TV this week, I don't know. Do you recall the set that they used last week? On Honor Reigns Supreme?
I kind of do.
When you watch it on TV this week, they really focused in on it. That, I would say, between the arena, the set, and the quote-unquote Titantron, that is starting to feel like a top-tier show. Like, that is starting to feel like, like a Monday Night Raw. Like, it definitely is head and shoulders above Impact, and they're doing some really, really awesome things. I mean, Jim Ross was huge on the lighting for a while, so they're getting the better lighting and stuff like that. And I feel like the Honor Club, for what they're offering, is a great deal. I was reading the press release a couple days ago. It's going to be $9.99 a month, and if you do it monthly, then you get a discount on the pay-per-views. However, if you pay $120 up front, you pay for the entire year in full, you get all of the pay-per-views for free. Now, you and I, for the most part, we watched the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. They're like, what, $40, $35?
Yeah, I think around that. Yeah.
So you'd say they do about four a year, $30. You're already at the $120 limit, So they're going to have Cole Cabana said it. They're not going to have any house shows anymore. Everything that they, every event that they have is going to be on Honor Club, and they're going to have all the way back from when they were on HDNet and, and even before back to, the origins like they have on the website now. And if you're a ringside member, like I am, they're just going to roll your membership over. So it's not going to cost you anything. And you still get the discount on all of their merchandise, 15% off the merchandise, and you get the pre-sale tickets. Now, to me, for $10 a month, I mean, I don't think there's a better deal on the planet than WWE Network. Don't get me wrong. And listen, Dana White, UFC Fight Pass, if you're listening, Fight Pass effing blows. It is the worst, most god-awful CompuServe AOL 2.0 Netscape-esque navigation I've ever dealt with, and I think it's absolutely atrocious. WWE had set the bar for streaming services with the network, and judging by what Ring of Honor is saying they're going to do for $10 a month, I personally think that's a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty cool. I watched the show last Friday night also. I agree with everything you said about their production value. From when we started watching, just maybe 4 or 5 years ago till now, it's definitely better than it was. And I think when you break it down, right? Yeah, $120 for the year. And if the pay-per-views themselves are $35 each, they have maybe 4 or 5, whatever it is, a year. And then and now whatever other little tours or kind of loops that they run on, whether it's Global Wars, War of the Worlds, according to them, they're going to have everything kind of streaming and available, right, on the Honor Club membership. So, you can kind of just, maybe if they're doing a loop, I guess this is right? If they're doing like a Global Wars thing and it's going like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something, they're just going to stream all those shows, right? So I can come home on a Wednesday night from work and I can watch Global Wars night 1, and then I can come home on a Thursday night and watch it night 2, and then Friday and Saturday or whatever it is that goes on. So it's a pretty neat thing. I mean, there's a lot of wrestling out there already, but it's nice to have alternatives to from WWE, right? They have kind of their own flavors of things, like we talked about with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, whatever. But ROH doing something like this, it's interesting. I'm curious. I'm interested to see how successful it is for them and how many subscribers they get to it. But I think it's a pretty neat thing. And then to have all the library and stuff available of their previous shows, it's, for hardcore fans, it's a really cool thing. So, I'm interested.
I don't know if I told you. Did you get the email to our podcast account from Kerry Silken?
No, I missed that one.
You go check it out. It's in our podcast email, and he said we are going to be we're going to be given the beta test, so we're going to be able to get the app. I was pretty stoked about that.
Oh, great! Yeah, Kerry Silken coming through, ROH ambassador. It's a great job.
He's a fantastic guy. But no, I mean, for real, like if they're going to do it, like because everything it said it was going to be on the iPhone, and that accessible. You'd be silly not to. For like we were talking about doing the WWN. The World Wrestling Network, the Evolve streaming service, and you had brought it up. I mean, it's $10 a month, which gets you the library and stuff like that. But then the iPay-per-views, they're going to charge you more for. Like, come on.
I think exactly. It's they're going to be discounted, I guess, but it's not like free. Like if I could watch all the Evolve and Shine and whatever shows that they have for free, and then that's great. I'll subscribe to that for $10 a month. But if you're only going to give me like a certain percent discount of it, and I still have to pay more money, I mean, that's not really worth it. I don't think.
No, definitely not. And if Ring of Honor can give out the pay-per-views like that, I don't see why a company like Evolve couldn't. If they're all under the WWN umbrella, I'm sure there's a lot more money to go around in that company. Mm-hmm. And actually, I guess if you with the ROH Honor Club, would you have the weekly TV show on there as well?
I'm assuming. I'm assuming it's the weekly TV show, and then I guess all their shows. I don't know how it'll work for like when they do TV tapings on like a Saturday night for 4 hours. Like, are they going to stream that? I don't know. Are they going to stream that live, or are they just going to like record it and then not let people see it until it comes out? I don't know. That'll be one thing. I guess we have to wait and see. But I'm assuming it's the weekly show, and then the live events that are now going to be streamed, and the pay-per-views, and then the library of stuff that they're going to build up for people to watch from way back when. So it sounds like a pretty cool deal. Did they say, you probably know better than me, when it's supposed to be available for everybody? Is it already out there? Like, what's the time frame for it?
I've actually tried to do my research today. I tried to reach out to my sources via Twitter, and nobody knows as of right now. I know Manhattan Mayhem is coming up, I believe March 3rd, maybe March 4th. So I'm assuming they will have it up by Manhattan Mayhem, and that'll be on the show. On the Honor Club. However, if you look at, like we said, it's now February 16th. Manhattan Mayhem is 3 weeks from today, or 2 weeks from today. I'm not even sure.
I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today, yeah. There's not one match announced for that show. So that's a little bit of a rough one. I know they're putting a lot of their eggs in the Super Card of Honor basket because they're going to do Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes main eventing that show. Mm-hmm. But with Manhattan Mayhem not being a pay-per-view and just being more or less a house show or a live streaming show, I mean, last year the Hardys wrestled the Bucks, right? So the Hardys. Did they debut? They debuted.
Yeah, they made a surprise appearance. Yes, that was, and they fought the Bucks on that show. Yes, and I think the main event, we were there, right? It was Adam Cole and Bobby Fish were in the main event, and Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, showed up and unexpected as well. So it was